Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. We continue to speak about React context and React hooks. In the last lesson, we spoke about how we can add this model to our project with React Bootstrap. Today's lesson, we will speak about how can we implement the functionality of this model. Now let's go back our code, and here, as you can see, we are sending this employees data with employee context. Like this employees data, we can also send the functionalities of our component via employee context. For this reason, I will create an employee function and then I will send this function via employee context. Now let's create our add employee function with const add employee. This will be again ES6 function, and this function will take 4 parameters. They will be name, email, address, and phone. Now you think that maybe why we didn't take ID as an argument? Because we won't receive this from the form. We will generate this ID again with UUID v4 function. If I add new employee to ours, what will happen? Our state will change. If our state will change, this set employees will handle this. I will write here again set employees, and in my add employee function, I will fire this set employees, and this set employees will take 5 parameters because our employee has 5 arguments. The first parameter will be ID, but this ID will generate by UUID v4 function as before. And our second parameter, name, will come from our name form element. But in ES6, if property and value are same, it is enough that you can write one of them. So I will write here name, email, later address, phone. Now I create add employee function. As I said before, like this employees data, I can also send this add employee function. So I will come here, put comma, and add here add employee. Now our context has employees data and this add employee function. Add employee is available in our employee context. Where we will use this add employee function, I will use it in the add form. So first I have to import this add employee function. How can I import add employee function? I have to import our context. I will come here, import employee context from // and here from contexts directory employee context.js. After import this context, we will use it, and to use this context, we have to import also use context hook. Import use context from React. Now we will destruct add employee from the context. Const add employee is equal to use context. Which context we will use? We will use employee context and employee context. We have an error. Of course, this will be a const, not cont. Const. Okay, now we have this function, and what we have to do? We have to connect this function with the data which we receive from our add form. And let's save the file. We are saving the file. We have one error. Let's go back employee context.js. Which kind of error we have? We have ID UUID v4. Oh, we have to put here curly braces because all of this a new employee, and employee is an object in this case, and save the file. Okay, now everything is working. What I said now we have an add employee function, and we have to connect this function with the data. Which data? The data we will receive from, again we have an error. Let's check it. We have to call our useContext hook inside of our functional component. So save the file again and refresh. Okay, now everything is working. So we will receive this data from end user with our form, and then we have to connect this data with this add employee function. And we can do it with two different ways. The first way is we can think every form element is different from each other, and every form element has own state. For this reason, we can create useState hook for every element separately. Like, let's come here and write here const name and set name use useState. The initial part will be an empty string. We create a useState hook for our name area. To catch a change in our form element, I have to add a value property. I will come here to name part and I will add here a value. Value will be this. If I change something inside of this element, I want to fire this setName function. For this reason, I have to add here on change event, change, and it will take an event parameter, and then it will send this event parameter to the set name but with target value. Set name with target value e dot target dot value. This will be on change, and now I can catch easily if the value of name form element, but for this I have to add on submit function to our form on submit. What will do this submit function? It will fire handle submit, and finally let's write our handle submit function. It will be again ES6 function const handle submit. It will take again event as a parameter, and I open the curly braces. First, this handle submit function prevent the default e.prevent default behavior, and later as an example let's console log this name console.log name, and let's save the function and check if everything is wrong. First, useState is not defined. We have to also import our useState hook, useState. I save the file and let's go back our project, and here inspect application. I want to open these components, and here if I put something to name, let's as an example let's write here Fernando. Now let's go to form group, and from the form group form control, here is the form control of Fernando. As you can see here, the value now Fernando. If I change this value Ricardo, as you can see now the value is Ricardo. And when I look to console, after I click this add new employee, I click add new employee, I have to also fill out this field. Let's write here ricardo@gmail.com, and I am clicking again this add new employee button. We see this Ricardo at console. Let's change it Ricardo 5 and add new again. Now I see the Ricardo 5, and let's go back our components and look the value, and value is changing. Also, our name is changing. I explained this, and this was our first name, but actually I won't use this because in this way we have some handicaps. For example, now I have to create useState function for all part of my form. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4 elements, and we have to create 4 different useState hook, and we have to create 4 different functions. Our second method is we can think all form area as a one state of new employee. So we have to create one useState hook and one function. Let's go back our code and come here. I will change this not name and set name. I will change this from name to new employee, and set function will be set new employee. And of course the initial state will not be an empty string. The initial state will be an object, and the properties of this object will be empty. Name will be empty object, and later email same, phone will be same, and address will be empty string. And now I don't need different functions. One function is enough for me, and this will be on input change. On input change will take parameter event. To catch value of our name form element, I have to add here a name area also. I will come here and I will write name as name. We will use this name when we create this on input change function, and I will copy this and I will paste here, and this time name will be email, value will be email, and the function will stay the same. Let's go back to address, and address name will be address, and value will be address, and onChange function will be the same. And I copied this last time. Name will be phone and value will be phone. Now I will write this onInput change function, and I am coming here below the useState hook. I will write this function. This function will be const onInput change. We'll take an event as a parameter. We want to update our individual properties with value of our form elements. To do this, set new employee, and this employee will be first our new employee. The initial value of this employee, everything has empty string new employee. The other parameters of this function will be name and value, but name will come this name property and value will come this value property. But of course we don't know which form element changing, so to catch this, first we have to catch the target name e.target.name, and the value of this property will be e.target.value. Now we updated this new employee with values, so we have to distract properties of our new employee because later we will use it in handle submit function. I come here, const name, email, phone, and address is equal to new employee. We will send this name, email, phone, and string to our add employee function as a parameter. I will not console here. I will add here. I will write here add employee, and this employee will take 4 parameters, and these parameters will be these distracted properties, and I will paste here and save the file. Let's save the file. Now we don't have any errors. Let's check our project if everything is working. First, let's close this one and add new employee. Name is Ricardo Quaresma. Email ricardo@email.com. Address, let's use the generic address. And phone number, let's use this one. And click add new employee, and we have an error. Employees.map is not a function. I think we did some mistake. Add form, no, add employee context, set employees. Oh, here we forget to add our employees, arrays of object. We have to add here. I will come here. I will add an array with red operator employees, comma, and then I will close this array here. And let's save the file. Now I think we don't have an error. Okay, let's try it again. I will add Ricardo Quaresma, email ricardo@email.com, address this generic address, phone, this one, add new employee. Okay, as you see, we could add successfully our new employee, but we have a problem because our module is not closing. I will do this implement in the next lesson. I know now it's a little bit overwhelmed. I want to repeat what we done in this section. Now let's go back our add form. First, we create our add employee function to add new employee to our list. Later, add this function to our context, and we will use this function in our add form component. I call this add employee from our context, and here I give initial value to our form element, all of this empty string, and here I catch the changes of our form elements, and then I distract all the parts of our new element object because I will put this name, email, phone, and address as an argument to add employee function. And finally, I call this add employee function, and our add implementation is now working. This is the end of today's lesson. We will see each other in the next lesson.